Good morning, world, and welcome to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Um, Today is December 19th, 2020, and we hope that you all are having a blessed morning as you tune in along with us and getting your weekend started. We can be found on Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast page, on Spotify as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, YouTube as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Apple Podcasts, various podcasts, as well as on your own Facebook pages or our own Facebook pages via Brandon Price and Jamar Goodman, as stated amongst other streaming platforms. We have seen an interesting week in the sports world where we saw the game of the year possibly in the NFL thus far on Monday night between the Browns and the Ravens. Jamar, I told you about the Ravens, told you about Lamar Jackson. Championship weekend in college football. College football playoff berths will be on the line and they will be determined. Does Ohio State, with their 6-game season, still make it in? After Jason Garrett testing positive for COVID and not being able to coach on Sunday, Mr. Freddie Kitchens, yes, that's right, the former Cleveland Browns head coach and now Giants tight end coach, will take over play calling duties against his former team with a lot on the line for playoff positioning for both teams. For Jamar, this was your second half team. And what an interesting headline this is, bro, that Freddie Kitchens, his former team, the team that he pretty much built, he will, well, along with the brother, I forgot his name, Hugh Jackson, they both kind of built that team. And right now, the head coach, he's kind of the inheritor of all that. But he'll be calling Freddie Kitchens play calling duties against his former team with a whole lot on the line, NFC least on the line, as well as not only along with the NFC least, but the AFC North still possibly on the line and playoff positioning within the wild card. So with that being said, world, we have a lot to cover today. And so with that being said, introducing my brother from another mother, Mr. Jamar Goodman. Jamar, what's good with you, my brother?
What's going on, man? Happy Saturday.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. With that being said, let's get right into it. Let's start with the thriller in Manila from this past Monday night. Just curious, man, on what are your thoughts and takeaways from this game? And by the way, just as a side note, somebody said on Twitter, Jamar, that Lamar Jackson didn't go back to the locker room for no cramps. They stated that it was more than just cramps. They say he went back there because he had White Castles a few hours before the game. Yeah, I told them that was just so mean. Like, why would you say that? You know, but this is what Twitter said.
Oh man. But as far as this game as a whole, man, I watched it front to back. I didn't care how much sleep I got that night. It didn't matter because that game was definitely off the charts. Back and forth, back and forth. First thing I want to take away, I guess, Baker Mayfield in the last like 5 weeks. Well, ever since I would say Nick Chubb came back from injury, like this man has been like playing really well. I still think he's the worst quarterback in the division based on the eye test, but
Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Wow. After how he played on Monday, he didn't prove anything to you.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the other 3 quarterbacks in the division are definitely like really, really good. But
okay.
But as far as him, no, he's definitely, taking progressions and taking steps forward or whatnot. I mean, he's been balling lately, like for real. With 343 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had that pick, but he came back from that. And it's crazy because the Browns was up. It was under 2 minutes left. And it was 4th down. Lamar Jackson comes back in the game. And had the Browns stopped them, that probably would have been game over. But yet, Lamar Jackson scrambles to the right, finds Hollywood Brown wide open on a blown coverage on a broken play, takes off for the end zone. I'm like, all right. And Baker had this look on the face like, all right, I'm going to come down and score this touchdown. And he was surgical on that drive. Probably scored a little sooner than he wanted to. But that Kareem Hunt touchdown, that was gold. Then we got a tie game again, but I think it was like a minute and 14 left, and Lamar Jackson came back down once again, and put it in the legs of his future Hall of Fame kicker Justin Tucker, and just booted that thing for like I think it was like 50-some yards, 52 yards.
Without a problem. Without a
Yeah,
problem.
that was. I mean, we don't expect anything less from Justin Tucker, so. Man, that was a phenomenal game, start to finish. Like when the moment came, I feel like everybody stepped up. Like there was like no deficiencies, no like what ifs or anything like that. No, I just everybody played well. That was a great game across the board. I have no
Absolutely,
issues.
man. Definitely. And to second that, in regards to the absolute football game, I was watching the game, Jamar World, and I was sitting there saying to myself, like, you kind of know when a game's going to come down. What's up, Dominique? Good morning. Baker equals play action. So it sounds like he's agreeing with you, possibly by stating that Baker Mayfield, his biggest strength is play action, and you get him to drop back, he's not much.
Absolutely.
We can agree with that, Dominique. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so, in watching the game, I knew you just kind of know some games going to come down to the last drive, which could very well possibly happen tonight in the ACC championship. But you knew this game was just going to come down. I'm just sitting here like, wow, this game is physical. I'm like, okay, there was elements to it. It was like an eloquent piece of art. In the first piece of the game, you could see physicality. You knew that it was a rivalry. You knew that it was playoff positioning on the line and that there was a lot of pride going on in that game. These two teams definitely did not like each other. It was physical. But then you saw the finesse and you began to see Lamar do his thing. And when Lamar did his thing, you see Baker come right back and do his thing. So it was definitely a battle of quarterbacks trying to prove each other out. But it was like, wow, it was a contrast of styles because you saw Lamar Jackson run the ball, 124 rush yards, by the way, in the game, World. But then Nick Chubb have his game. He had at least 3 touchdowns, dominating. I mean, the Browns dominating. It was surgical to the point to where you knew Baker Mayfield didn't have to do much. But when it came to it, he still did what he had to do. I'm like, wow, this is definitely going to come down to the last drive. But the moment of the game, everybody, was when Lamar Jackson went to the back. And I truly believe that he went back there for more than cramps. I think he just needed a quick break real quick. After he got his quick break in and McSorley did whatever he did, the offense really got stagnant. And I'm here to say, World, that the only reason why the Browns got back in that game was because McSorley. He got in the game, stunk up the joint, and doing absolute thing. Lamar Jackson came in, and you saw immediately the impact he had in the game as soon as he came from the locker room. He got to scrambling. They got worried. It sort of reminded me of back when the Bears played against the Packers way years back, and Aaron Rodgers went out to scramble. Everybody went running after him, and Randall Cobb was running down the field wide open in week 17. You remember that, Jamar?
Come on, man.
We got our hearts broke. You remember that?
Of
Yes.
course.
I'm sorry. I have to bring it up.
You didn't have to.
I'm sorry, man. It's Saturday morning. I have to bring it up. I know it's Christmas. I know Christmas is coming up, and it's a time where we're supposed to reflect on good things. But I had to bring that up in order to talk about the Browns and how they feel, because you can see the sad faces. They were like, geez, it was finally our time on prime time, and we blow it. And so Lamar Jackson right now is like their kryptonite. He's the kryptonite, Jamar, because of his running ability. And I'm here to say this, World. Outside of the game, and Jamar, it's up to you. You agree with me or not?
All right.
I've been saying for the moment that the AFC playoffs will be lit. It will be lit because I believe 1 through 7 can win the AFC. Kansas City don't have it as easy as people think. The Browns, a lot of people made the case that they can beat Kansas City because of the fact that they can control the clock, Jamar. They can control the clock with their running game. far as their defense, I don't know. It really, really depends on the type of game that Garrett has. If Garrett has that dominant monster game, then yeah, it's very well possible that the Browns can go in and upset Kansas City. But I tell y'all who the biggest threat is. Lamar Jackson. This brother is Superman. He's special. He is on an absolute another level. And I'll tell you what, I would not want to play the Baltimore Ravens come January. As similar to me not wanting to play that brother Derrick Henry come January. This is why the AFC playoffs will be lit, because every team is scary and got something that they can fall back on. Even a little baby Dolphins with that great defense, they can force turnovers. Any team that can force turnovers is a dangerous threat. And so even Pittsburgh, I know Pittsburgh is on a losing streak, but once you get in Heinz Field, baby, and you get in that black and that gold, and they start hitting you and knocking your mouthpiece out, and it's freezing cold, Jamar. It's about 5 degrees outside. It's equivalent to playing in Green Bay. You just don't want to play there. And so the AFC playoffs will be lit. But I take away from this game that Lamar Jackson, man, when it comes January, if they were to get in and they would get that final seed over the Dolphins or somebody, they will be a tough out, especially with Mark Ingram coming back and that brother running in January and how physical he runs. And so just putting that out there, they don't have much receiving right now, the Baltimore Ravens, but they don't need it. They don't need it. And a lot of the games, let's keep in mind that they lost were very close games, very winnable games. And this is the former league MVP. Let's not forget that. They did have the best record in football last season. They do have a great organization. And just like we say defense travels, great quarterbacks travel too. And so that's my take, bro. I've been kind of hitting on this Ravens team for quite some time, since early in the season, that they would get dangerous come January, and they will be extremely dangerous for anybody. All right.
We don't see. We don't see as it
Definitely
all
see,
unfolds.
Yeah, it's a lot that we got to look at this coming month that will tell us a whole story of what will happen. All right. And by the way, the Ravens have the greatest chance out of all the remaining wild card teams to make the playoffs because of their schedule. But yes, with that being said, talking of scariest teams, Jamar, I need some from you. Um, Dominique McKinney stated any given Sunday in the AFC. Um,
Big
and
facts.
Dominique, yes, another big fact. He stated, "I'm not so high on Lamar Jackson. His accuracy is still bad outside the numbers." I can agree with that, brother. His throwing game is not the best. Definitely not. And that's what's holding him back. If he can get that component down from his game, oh man, it is. You talking about our brother Patrick Mahomes being the best? He will have stiff. He already got stiff competition on Lamar Jackson, but it will be that much more scarier. But that is definitely his weakness. Very good point, Dominique. Um, but Jamar, I need, and Dominique, since you on here, man, maybe you can give us your two scariest teams from the NFC and AFC that you would not want to play come January. Like, what are the two scariest teams that you would not want to play come January? On the other hand, give me two teams that you would want to play come January. So Jamar, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot right here, real quick.
Okay. All right. You want me to start with AFC or NFC? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Let's do AFC. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to pick Kansas City because their offense is
Terrifying
if
to
this
play.
if this was Madden, I'll rank their offense a 99 all the way across the board.
Right, right.
And I feel like they don't get. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying though, with the Chiefs, we know that it's scariest. But the
Yeah.
question was asked so we can cause some little scary or some little debate here with that second team, because we know about Kansas City already.
Right. Right. And also, just want to add before I get to my second team, I feel like Kansas City defense is underrated. A lot of
Oh
people
my
don't give them
goodness, aren't
credit.
they?
So
Tyrann Mathieu, man. Whew. That boy look like he gonna be in Canton one day. The way he playing this year,
He definitely has the talent for it. So we're gonna see if
man,
he can put it all together.
balling out. I don't know if you saw that interception this past week. He had two of them, but like, and he ended the game. But I mean, the brother definitely is the leader of that defense and the captain on that team, and he definitely looking like he want to be not only in Hawaii, but he look like he want to be in Canton, Ohio.
Hey, I don't blame him. All right, so this one here, this was tough because I feel like there's hardly any wrong answers, especially in the AFC here, because anybody you can make a case for.
Right.
I'm making a case for the Buffalo Bills.
Dominique agree with you. Dominique agree with you. That's his second team.
I didn't even see that. That's what's up. Because Josh Allen is playing lights out because they have an explosion in the passing game with Stephon Diggs. When they acquired him, they unlocked something for Josh Allen. And this is why we are seeing the dominance on offense with them. They're known beforehand it was basically a run-based team.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they can score in multiple ways, and their defense is starting to come back around again. Mm-hmm. Initially, their defense, started off solid, and then it took a vacation for about a good 5 weeks in the middle of the year, but it's starting to play well. So that might be the premier team that can give Kansas City a run for their money if it's all said and done. But that team definitely has a lot of upside on that one. NFC, I guess two scariest teams. I'm going with, I don't even like saying this, that bad man in Green Bay.
Yeah.
I have
especially if you got to travel up there.
Yeah.
Come January.
He's playing lights out this whole year. In my opinion, he's second in MVP votes right now.
Mm-hmm.
He got that monster of a weapon in Devontae Adams. The running game, I know Aaron Jones hasn't been his self since that injury, but Jamal Williams stepping up. They're playing well as a whole as far as the running game. Tanyan as a tight end, he's been coming along. MVS has been solid every now and then.
Definitely.
So basically, like in the AFC and NFC, I'm taking great quarterbacks here that can definitely rally the troops and give you a run for your money. And that should let you know who I'm picking for my second team, which is let Russ cook. Let Russ cook.
Dominique say the same thing. Absolutely. The Seahawks, they just play down to people's level, but when they play to people's level, they can beat anybody.
They can, man. And we've seen it in the past. We've seen Russ be special in the playoffs. We've seen them and we see as of right now that freak of nature that he has, number 14 on the outside. That is probably a top 5 receiver right now, DK Metcalf. And we see Tyler Lockett out there who is very underrated.
Oh,
very underrated.
Don't he always just sneak past the defense?
He does, and he makes the most excellent catches. The footwork,
the
most
route difficult catches.
Man, give him his flowers, man. And
I'm telling you.
And Chris Carson and whoever else they have back there in the running game, whoever they plug in, they run the football well. So those two teams in NFC, I don't want to see them.
And speaking of, Jamal, you got to answer a question and Dominique and Chris Ford right now having it out in the comment section. Chris Ford said, no love for the Colts. And Dominique McKinney said, Colts butt sauce. This is y'all's team, y'all. This is Indiana.
Well,
I guess y'all would know. I mean, y'all up in Indiana, man.
Chris is a diehard Colts fan. Dominique is
they are dangerous though, man. And this is what you were saying, like any team.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer here. I could have made a case for the Colts, could have made a case for the Titans, could have made a case for the Dolphins, could have made a case for whomever. I just want to get a bill.
Still not ruling out Pittsburgh, y'all. I wouldn't be that wise to do so. I would not do that. Mm-mm.
Exactly, and I know you asked the question, the two teams that you would want to see. I could only pick one from each conference, and it was hard to even do that, especially in the AFC.
Right.
And
I
picked the Steelers by default because they're not playing the best, but they can absolutely turn it around and just rump somebody. And the NFC, I'm just whoever wins the NFC least, that's my team. That's it.
Yeah, man. That's a really good point, man. Their most quarterback Dominique States has the most interceptions in the league. Yeah, we know about Philip Rivers, but one thing about Philip Rivers, Dominique, is that he can get hot too. One thing about him is that when he heats up, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And so that's the danger about him is that he can really, really heat up. And so it's very, very interesting, man. And it's an interesting point, man, that you bring up for sure. Um, but for that second team, it's so many teams you can pick. But Jamar, bro, I think you know who I gotta go with. I gotta go with them boys down in Nashville.
I know.
I don't want to see Derrick Henry come January.
We
Right
talked about it.
now, the man has over 100-yard rushing games, and it's only been what 13 games this season. Okay. He has two 200-yard games. That's the most in NFL history in one season. And I'm pretty sure I think y'all he'll get it one more game and break the record just to mess with people and just to do it because he knows that he's sending that message that you don't want to see me come January when it's freezing cold outside. And so the Tennessee Titans every year around this time they heat up, they cook up, and that's when they start playing their best football. We've seen it for the last 3 seasons even with Marcus Mariota, who had a great game and showed us that he's still a great quarterback and the reason why he is the highest paid backup in the NFL, making over $7 million a year. And so the Tennessee Titans will be super scary come January. And the NFC, well, and that's my one team, but that second team is that boy Patty Mahomes. We don't want to see him.
By default.
Right. In the NFC, you raise a very good point, man, with A-Rod. And A-Rod has a big advantage, y'all. He has that cold Green Bay weather. That is the worst field to play on come January. It is freezing out there. And so in his arm and how the referees just love him, he's the one quarterback outside of Tom Brady that gets special treatment. Gets a lot of special treatment. You touch him the wrong way, baby, that's a flag. That's 15 yards. You hit him the wrong way, that's 15 yards, I promise you. He gets that special treatment. And so come playing him in January will be super tough. As far as the second team, and I had to really debate here because the NFC West is super loaded. But I'm gonna have to go with the Rams.
I know it.
And I'm going with the Rams because of great defense, everyone.
Yep.
The Rams defense, did y'all see what it just made the Patriots just look so invincible? I mean, it was a long day for them. Like Jalen Ramsey, man, the best cornerback in football. We know about Aaron Donald, man. This man requires triple teams. And if he's requiring a triple team, Leonard Floyd, who left the Bears, is now having a career year. I mean, but Jamar, most players when they meet, right, Dominique, Chris, when they leave the Bears, they go have great careers. I mean, this is just factual. Like he's having a Pro Bowl year with the Rams. You gotta agree, he's having a Pro Bowl year. Yeah. I mean, this man is going to be in Hawaii after he left the Bears. I mean, it happens all the time. And so the Rams, they defense, y'all, is scary. But I want to make this point, bro. I think a lot of people they really underestimate this brother for the Rams at quarterback. Like
that's the thing, man. Like, because we know that the Rams at the end of the day are Jared Goff or bust. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I mean, we saw the reason why they didn't make the playoffs last year, I believe. I mean, it's on him. If he plays well, they are lights out. If he doesn't, they're vulnerable. That's just bottom line.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But when he heats up, we was talking about Philip Rivers, Dominique, heating up. I think we all can agree at certain stints, Jared Goff can heat up. And when he heats up, he can score with Kansas City. He can outscore you. It's just as the defense can outplay you. And that's what makes the Rams dangerous. And so I'm not saying possibly that they'll win a division. They could very well win a division. because the Seahawks do play down the team's level. And they do play each other to end the season.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely determine the winner of that division and who. Well, I think Green Bay might possibly get that first round bye, but I don't know. The NFC, man, it's really jumbled right now between the Saints, the Packers, Rams, and Seahawks. One of those teams possibly can get that first round bye. And so, yes, Chris, thank you. Golf can definitely sling that thing. He can sling the rock for sure. And so I think that's what makes the Rams dangerous. I would have said the Seahawks, but I wanted to go with somebody different just because we're partners and you went with the Seahawks. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and go with the Rams, because they're going to be determined just like the AFC South is going to be determined this coming. You mentioned at the final week of the season, which I can agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. So we mentioned the teams that we don't want to play against, but we still got some work, bro. We got to see the teams that we would want to play come January. What two teams you want to pick on?
Oh, I mentioned it earlier. It was hard. Especially in the AFC. That's difficult. So I picked.
I know you got at least one team.
Well, if we're doing the AFC, by default right now, I don't even like saying it. It's Pittsburgh at this moment. Of course. At this exact moment.
Deshaun, we apologize, but
at this exact moment, it's them. That could possibly change in 2 weeks, but as of right now,
definitely Dominic. Anybody in the NFC East, you beat us to the mark. We're gonna get there.
Yep. And I would have picked the Raiders, but they probably not making the playoffs.
Their defense is terrible.
I think they lost 4 out their last 5, and probably would have lost 5 in a row and won for that miracle play against the Jets. So
exactly.
NFC is definitely whoever wins that least division. So it's by default, because the Giants and Washington football team, they're playing better, but they're not on the levels of anybody else in that NFC right now. So
what about the Dolphins and their inexperience?
No, because their defense. If their defense wasn't as good as they are, then I would.
And then if you get them on the road, Miami is always a trick place to play, but
it is. So
Pittsburgh
I guess
was to get them in Pittsburgh,
Yeah, but Pittsburgh got to still hang on to that division. I know the Browns losing helped them out on that one, but it isn't a done deal because they got to see the Browns and the Colts here soon.
Right. Sure.
So we gonna see.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, for me, 2 teams in the AFC, I just mentioned it. The Dolphins and experience. I love my brother over there in Miami doing a great job. And he's rejuvenated that entire organization. And that defense is scary and forces turnovers. And they got the best cornerback, at least that's playing the best football, with 8 to 9 interceptions. I believe it's 8 interceptions right now. And so balling out, Mr. Howard. But then also Pittsburgh. Right now they're playing stinky football. They look like a junior varsity team, as Mike Tomlin mentioned. And they've been squeaking by teams, honestly, for the last 6 to 8 weeks. And so it eventually has caught up with them. But they have a chance to turn things around and, possibly still fight for that number 1 seed, although Kansas City is in the driver's seat at this point. But Kansas City do have a big game tomorrow. We'll talk about that. So, yes, those are the 2 teams in the AFC. The NFC, Dominique, I agree with you. We want to play the NFC least champ for sure. You want to play one of those. That appears to be a gimme, even for a wild card team. So if the Rams or Seahawks, I wouldn't even trip about winning the division, because if I don't, I'm still rewarded because I get to play the NFC least champ. Possibly an easier road to the second round, right?
For real.
So yeah, I will want to play that team. But then also a team that I see that is doing well, but then again, haven't been so hot, is the NFC South. And so the New Orleans Saints, yes, they are a very good football team, and they have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, all these things. But one weakness I see with the Saints, y'all, and Drew Brees is coming back. He's coming back tomorrow. He's coming back, so he'll possibly have his chemistry in place come January. But the one weakness I see with the Saints, y'all, um, is truly a lack of depth at running back. Murray is great coming by behind Kamara, but he struggles at times. The offensive line struggles for the Saints at times. I know they're a very good football team and they have controlled their destiny, but I just feel like they will come up short again, and it will possibly be because of Drew Brees being a little trigger happy and turning the ball over. And so that's just me. It was hard to pick for the NFC, the second team that I would want to play, but going with the Saints sounds a little crazy, but I think they're vulnerable. I definitely think they're vulnerable, especially with Drew Brees. I think they might even be a better team with Taysom Hill. I swear, but Drew Brees, he's been leading that franchise for years. So that's a debatable one, but that's what I think. It's a very debatable one.
I mean, it is. I mean, history shows that playoff time they do become vulnerable for one reason or another. So, not mad at you there at all. I know I didn't pick a second team here for the NFC. This is tough. I'm gonna say this team just because you picked them. I guess by default, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, and that'd be the Arizona Cardinals. and that's
Okay.
what and that's with a grain of salt, because I know when Kyler Murray, balls out, it's like good luck type thing.
Right.
Probably the only thing against them is probably their inexperience when it comes playoff time.
Right.
Can what are you gonna do when some of that game slows down and you got to really rely on your rushing game? Because I know Kenyon Drake, at times hasn't been the best. Chase Edmonds, has showed flashes, but at times hasn't been the best. The whole overall running game, which includes Kyler Murray, it seems like lately they've been slowing it down just a tad. And
Right.
is their defense, can their defense get you key stops when
Can
it
they?
comes
That's the
down to
question.
that? When it comes down to it, so that's my other team by default at this point. But I know what they can do on the flip side, so we'll see.
Right. And thanks, Dominique. Drew Brees, I don't want to see him. So Dominique definitely disagree with me. He believes definitely that the Saints are dangerous with Drew Brees. And he mentioned also with Arizona, good luck with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man, because he can get hot as well and change the whole trajectory of a game. All right.
Facts.
Let us cover some college football. World Championship weekend is now upon us, and it's time to make some picks, bro. Um, so Clemson, Notre Dame. You remember we talked about this, Jamar. I mean, what a football game that was. It was the best game that I've seen still to this year in
Yes,
football. I'm sorry, Cleveland, Baltimore, but this has been the best football game I've seen all year.
that was epic.
And yeah, it was. And I underestimated the offense for Notre Dame. I was mentioning them struggling against Syracuse and Temple, remember?
Right.
But when they came out, I'm like, okay, they appear to play up to competition and play down to competition. And so Ian Book, y'all, I think this guy will be a scary um, guy that, like, or in other words, I'm stating that when it comes to the NFL, I think he's going to have a great career, and that people are underestimating him, Jamar. They really are. He has the height. He has all the intangibles. I don't know what they're not seeing with this kid. I think he's going to be a great next level quarterback. I kid you not. Um, Tight ends. That's like a shop for tight ends for the NFL. Notre Dame. Wide receivers as well. They both balled out for Notre Dame, and they got a very underrated running back as well. Um, but this time, y'all, Clemson, guess who they got back? He's not sick anymore. Trevor Lawrence, who the New York Jets are killing themselves to get right now. So Clemson, I mean, they look great with this freshman. I can only imagine how they'll look with Trevor Lawrence. But then again, can they look any better with Trevor Lawrence? Because the numbers that this kid put up for Clemson, 439 pass yards in the game. I mean,
Sheesh.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Mm.
So, question is, will Clemson get its revenge? Will Clemson get its revenge come this game? And if Notre Dame wins this game, bro, do you begin to look at this team as no longer a pushover, but a team that could win the whole college football playoff?
All right. So first question: will Clemson get its revenge? I say yes. I say they do.
I agree.
I say for that game was epic, but it took a lot of things to roll Notre Dame's way to pull off that win. A
Yes.
lot of things in that game.
And that's
I guess
not
that's what,
mentioning if they were in South Bend.
right, and I guess that's what made it epic. Um,
Right.
so Trevor's back. That's in this matchup. That's a huge thing because at that time, I think Clemson was still figuring itself out on offense or whatnot. So um, that right there is just motivation, a chip on shoulders, and everything else that you want to say to get you ramped up to go against Notre Dame. Um, and second, I just feel like you know championship pedigree, championship DNA for Clemson. They know what time it is. They know if they mess around and lose this game, they could possibly be out of this top four.
Yep.
So I feel like they definitely have, more to lose and more to gain in this game instead of Notre Dame. So I'm definitely picking Clemson. Now to answer your second question, if Notre Dame wins this game, like are we seeing them as a legitimate threat to win it all? No, not happening.
Yeah, we still got them guys down in Tuscaloosa, right?
Yes. Yes, and to my knowledge and understanding, there's only as of right now maybe 1.5 teams that can maybe give them trouble, and Notre Dame is not one or the half. So no.
Wow. Yes. Solid answer, bro. I gotta agree with you, man. Trevor Lawrence is this kid look like he's the second coming behind Dan Marino. I kid you not. Lights up the field every time he plays. It looks easy for him. You can tell he can play in the NFL right now. Um, a man amongst boys when he throws that rock. And I think a lot of people underestimate his athletic ability as well. Um, so yes, I feel that Notre Dame will give them a game. However, bro, this will still be it will be a duplicate. It will be a 2.0 of the game we saw. This will be a dogfight. And Book ain't no joke, and Notre Dame ain't no joke, world. This is a very good football team. And so, although the first game, a lot of things went their way, and if they were to win, a lot of things would have to go their way tonight. But at the same token, Notre Dame, they will limit mistakes. Brian Kelly is a great football coach. And so this will be a very tight football game that will come down to the fourth quarter in the last few drives, even with Trevor Lawrence. Um, but I think at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence will find a way to pick apart the secondary for Notre Dame, which has been vulnerable all season. All right. So with that being said, I have to pick the guys from South Carolina, the Clemson Tigers, to win this game and send a message to the nation because they definitely want revenge from this game.
Absolutely.
Um, absolutely. In regards to Notre Dame winning the game, if they win the game, bro, I got news for the world. They will be dangerous. And they will be a scary team because of the fact that they can score the ball. Can they beat Alabama? Hell no. They can't beat Alabama. But will they be dangerous? Will they be dangerous? Yeah, possibly. They can be dangerous. I mean, they can put up some points for teams for sure. But will they beat Alabama? Hell no. And so, mm, I guess it's a yes or no with that. And so we will keep it moving for timing purposes. But that is our thoughts on the Clemson Notre Dame. Alabama, Florida, bro. Could there be an upset?
Man, just let me ask you this: did you see Stephen A's reaction when they asked him this similar question? Did you
Uh,
did you see his
what
reaction?
was it? Hell no. I can imagine it was hell no.
he bust out laughing for like 10 seconds. And he was like, what?
But the way they missed
they
that
don't
field
stand a
goal last
chance.
week.
He was laughing. I was cracking up.
I kind of peeped it a little bit. Yeah, because I was working out watching it yesterday morning. I'm like, why is he laughing so hard? Now I get it.
Yeah, they asked him this. He couldn't believe it. No.
Why don't you just say hell no?
Oh my God.
Hell no, there's no way Florida beating Alabama.
It's
Hell
not
no.
happening. No.
No, it's not.
There's no Tim Tebow in that locker room, man. No, they're
Right.
not.
Yeah, that's Stephen A's friend.
That he used to criticize years ago, but they're friends now. But yeah, no, not seeing it, not happening. No. Bama is on its own level. No.
Definitely. Right. Yeah. Does Florida beat Alabama? Hell no. They don't. It will have to take a miracle on 34th Street, possibly because it's Christmas time, in order for this to occur. But Alabama is on another level. Them receivers, oh my goodness, them boys are going to be killers come in the NFL.
They always got elite NFL receivers on their team. Always.
But and they go deep. They don't do nothing but catch bombs. They don't want no 10-yard passes. They want 60-yard bombs, 70-yard bombs. Remind me of the Rams back in, with Isaac Bruce and those guys in Torrey Holt.
Greatest show on turf.
Yes, will just air you out. And that's what Alabama do. They airs you out. And so could there be an upset? Nah. Northwestern, Ohio State, the Big Ten championship. Does Northwestern shock the world here? Does the smart kids from Evanston shock the world here?
No.
Okay.
No. I feel like at this point we know who's gonna be in. We know the elite teams from the ones that's coming up. I guess contenders from pretenders. That Northwestern. You've been solid. You've been impressive at times. I get it. That program's been turned around. I love seeing it. You're not beating Ohio State. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Yeah. Ohio State is that half team for me as far as Alabama is concerned. Yeah, if no, not happening.
Right. Does Northwestern beat Ohio State? Hell no. No, Northwestern does not beat Ohio State. It would take another miracle on 34th Street. But anything's possible in college football. Just like Dominique McKinney said, any given Sunday in the AFC. In college football, it's definitely any given Saturday in college football.
That's true.
It is Christmas season. You do see the Christmas festivities right here. You see it. And so Oregon did beat USC last night. Nobody expected that, y'all. Oregon wasn't even supposed to be in the Pac-12 title game. They weren't supposed to even be there. They got added in because Washington players were sick. Okay? Possibly that's the reason why they beat USC, but they beat USC for sure. They beat them pretty handily. So, could we see an upset? Maybe. But as stated, maybe because it's Christmas times and it's Miracle on 31st Street season, possibly we can see that occur, but I highly doubt it. Hell no. Ohio State does not lose to Northwestern. Oklahoma, Iowa State, Big 12 championship. Quick analysis here. Who you got, bro?
Yeah. This is tough. This might be the toughest one, in my opinion. Oklahoma on a 6-game winning streak. Iowa State on a 5-game winning streak. Both playing well. I'm gonna go with Iowa State, but I'm not saying that confidently either.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna have to go with you, Iowa State. I think they are a dark horse for the college football playoff. They have played very good football as of late, and they can run that rock for sure. But not only can they run that rock, they have great quarterback play and a great defense that has secondary guys that will play on the next level. The middle linebacker is a man amongst boys. So, Iowa State, I think they can beat Oklahoma, bro, because I watched Oklahoma earlier this year very closely. And I was not impressed by the team. They lost to a really, really, really bad team, Kansas State, who is not really on that level. I don't know how you lose to Kansas State. So they lose to Kansas State to me. I can't really look at them and say confidently, bro, like, that they can win the Big 12 title game. Both teams are hot, but I think Iowa State is just better. And so for that reason, I'm going to go with Iowa State.
Gotcha.
All right. Yes. So that covered college football. Let us now, bro, get into the NBA.
Wait. You got one. There's one more
Oh,
question with
yes.
that.
Thank you. Yes. So after tonight, bro, which four teams makes the college football playoff? Come Sunday, 7 p.m., which four teams will be announced for the college football playoff?
All right. So this is what I'm looking at. Got my list up. So obviously Alabama.
Yeah.
All
If they lose, do they still make it in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will.
Right.
All right. So, but I believe Ohio State will get in. So that's
Okay.
two. All right. So this is where things get tricky with this Notre Dame Clemson game. Right. So if Clemson win, they're in. And with that, if Notre Dame loses on top of that, I think. All right. So here's my scenario. So if Clemson win and Oklahoma wins, I feel like Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Notre Dame gets in. If Clemson wins and Iowa State wins, I feel like Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Iowa State gets
in. Yeah. This is why I mentioned Iowa State as a dark horse, but go ahead.
Yeah. Now, and it's and I'm only doing this with this game here. It's some fantasy scenario that Notre Dame wins, right? I got Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and I think they will reward Iowa State if they win. If they don't win, I think they'll keep Clemson in just cause. So I think it all depends on how that Iowa State Oklahoma game ends up on top of that game.
Definitely a big game. And shout out to no one that wants to, and when I say no one, I'm talking about these college football committees that don't want to expand to an 8-team playoff. I think it is long overdue. I think teams like Cincinnati, Iowa State, they deserve their chances, and it doesn't or shouldn't have to be a debate between always Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and the one lucky team that breaks in every year, whatever team that tends to be, right? But we know who generally the top three teams are. And so I would love to see an 8-team playoff. But yes, you mentioned the scenarios. Iowa State, Oklahoma, very big game. But I can just imagine Dabo Swinney, right, screaming, "Oh, December, January, if he loses to Notre Dame, stating that they should be in the college football playoff because they're Clemson, because they won a national championship recently, and because they have the proposed best quarterback in college football, which would be great for ratings, great for all the political crap of college football, which we know is a very political game. Iowa State, if they win, right, and if they win handily, not if they win, they have to beat the brakes off of Oklahoma. They beat the brakes off Oklahoma, world. Then you can really start the question like, okay, could this team get in? I also want to bring up a wild card here as well, and that's the AAC championship game because the team that Cincinnati is playing is ranked as well, and so they are ranked 21st in the country. And so if Cincinnati was to win the game, I just want to make the point: how come they can't get considered, but yet you can consider, you know, Iowa State, Oklahoma, those two high-ranked teams, and things, but you can't consider Cincinnati. This is what I hate about college football, and it irritates me so bad. USC lost last night. Big upset. That was big, everybody, because a lot of people felt that USC had an outside chance with them being undefeated. And once again, right, Jamar, they're USC. So they'll have a chance because they're USC and they're not Cincinnati. They're not Temple. They're not UCF. Some of these smaller schools. BYU had a chance, but they blew it against Coastal Carolina. Great football game, by the way, world. That was a classic football game that went right down to the goal line, and it was a last-minute call game because of COVID. But that was a classic, and it shows you that it's a lot of schools out here, Jamar. Coastal Carolina, as example, that can ball with big schools. Okay, and so you know, do Cincinnati make any case if they beat the 21st ranked team in the country because Cincinnati's ranked ninth, and they beat them in a handily fashion. So at the end of the day, however, I think it comes down to the political world of football. You gotta keep Clemson in, and so if Clemson loses, I think this thing is set up regardless. If the three main teams win, Alabama take care of their business.
Yep.
Um, uh, Alabama take care of their business. Notre Dame and Clemson, they battle it out. And if they have a close enough game, Jamar, to where it's a dogfight, and it comes down to the fourth quarter, as long as they make it to the fourth quarter and it's a tight game, I think they're both in.
Probably.
I don't think they put Clemson out because of Trevor Lawrence. They don't. They won't.
Yeah, that was part of my thinking. Like, there's no way that they keep them out, regardless. That's
no,
and that's how I really feel. But it's like you're just gonna ignore that other team right there. But yeah, they do it like that, then
they do it all the time. They do it all the freaking time. And Ohio State, if they take care of the Wildcats, they get in because they're Ohio State.
Right.
And that's just how this thing tends to work in college football. I don't know why. I don't know how it always works this way, but it tends to be that way.
Yeah. Because they bring in money, man.
They got to bring in that revenue, especially during the pandemic, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, man. But I would love to see that 18 college football playoff to give teams, like a Coastal Carolina. I don't know. They could, who knows? I mean, just give them a chance, That's why the NCAA tournament is so fun to watch because you can literally watch a Southern Illinois or you can watch a freaking Butler go to the national championship. Who and their mama had Butler going to the national championship? Not one, but 2 years in a row.
Yep.
That could only be done by a committee or a league or a tournament that gives everybody a chance. And literally in college basketball, everybody gets a chance. And you see often, you've been seeing this season, top schools drop to little small schools that you probably never even heard of. And so I would love to see more of that in college football. Let's let the politics go, college football, and let's let the players and the teams play it out. All right. With that being said, let's now cover some NBA. I just got one burning question for you this morning, bro. One burning question.
Yeah.
As we get into this season, I need your top 10 players ranked from 10 to 1 coming into this season.
Whew, man, when I saw that question yesterday, I'm like, man, he really putting me on the spot here. I had to sit here and got my pencil and my beverage and like hack backwards and over here scratching my head and scribbling.
There's some head scratches on this list for sure.
It's tough. I mean, I did the best I could with how I felt. So, all right.
Yeah, I can see you possibly have some players that I have, but my order, people are gonna be mad once they hear my order of players because somebody on this list I got should be higher, definitely.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I feel like the key part of the question was entering this season.
Right.
Entering
this season.
Yeah. So.
Got it.
All right. So with all that being said, number 10, I got the Joker. That was tough to pick.
I missed out on him.
You know how I sat here and debated with myself about a good 20 minutes on that last spot. That was hard. But I just wanted to give him his flowers. Number 9, I have James Harden, even though he's looking like James Softy right now, the way his gut is showing and doing everything else. I mean, we'll see.
In Atlanta with.
with a
All
little
these
baby and
little baby and all them.
yep. Yeah, we'll see. 8, I got Chef Curry here. I got Chef Curry.
Chef Curry. I couldn't put him on my list, bro. I couldn't.
I
I just
understand.
said, and I couldn't put him because of last season.
Fair enough. 7, I got Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollars. Dame Dollar.
All right, so this is where things get interesting here. Number 6, I got that bad man in Dallas. I got Luka.
Luka.
Luka number 6. I got board man at number 5, Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
All right, I got Chicago's own Anthony Davis at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, you know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant.
Uh-oh, you got him number 3.
I got him number 3.
Ain't even played last season.
Ain't even played, but I got him
That's
number
how good
3.
he is, huh?
Yeah. Now I seen what he did a little bit so far in preseason, man. I see it. 2, I got the back-to-back MVP, Giannis, and number 1, I got your boy, undisputedly number 1, LeBron James.
All right, man. That is an incredible list. And you got people on there that I definitely missed out on. And so let the world go crazy now. All right. Yes.
We
number
go.
10. Number 10. I got a tie. And is that possible? I got a tie because of the playoffs in the first round between my boy Murray and Donovan Mitchell. The battle that they had was so epic, and how they were scoring back and forth, how they points per game were so similar, how they both play similar, how they are bucket getters. Like these guys, and you remember just being on Facebook, bro, and like we was posting about this, like folks about to watch out for this kid Murray. He's gonna eventually break this top 10 and become one of the best players in the league. And we were just seeing it all last June. Last August. Of how this kid would break through. And Donovan Mitchell, bucket getter, man, dropping 50, 60 in the playoffs like it ain't nothing. I gotta put him in my top 10 because of the buckets he get. The Joker, man, I wanted to put him in, but I couldn't because you know what? I had to put Dame Dollars in. I had to put Dame Dollars in. And the reason why he is as low as he is at number 9 is because he had a great bubble, but when he went up against the Lakers after game 1, he went relatively pedestrian. I don't know if it was because he was hurt or what, but I'm gonna have to hold that against him going into this season because of what I saw last season for him to end his season. And so Dame Lillard, however, can pull it up from the parking lot where we know about him. He can get hot at any time. And I would have put Steph Curry on this list, but I couldn't because he has not played last season. With that being said, I got a debatable one, y'all. So instead of Luka making this point, and don't get me wrong, Luka is going to be just phenomenal, but I'm really debating him right now between Luka and somebody else. I'm going to change my list. But number 8, y'all, I'm going to have to put Jimmy Butler. I had Jason Tatum initially, bro. But I had to think of that block with Bam Adebayo.
Oh.
I had to think of that block with Bam Adebayo, but additionally, I had to really look at the fact that he was really scrubbish came against Toronto. He didn't have the best series. He missed a lot of shots, and he additionally missed a lot of shots against Miami for sure. And so, don't get me wrong, great player. I think he's ascending, Jason Tatum, but I got to take him off the list. And I got to put Jimmy Butler there because of the heart that Jimmy Butler showed. And also, bro, because of the fact that a lot of people sit here and look at James Harden's ability to get to the free throw line and get a bucket when he wants. What about Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler do the same exact thing. He can get to the line whenever he decides to, whenever against anybody, and slow the game down and get it to the pace that he wants to get it to and make it a half-court game against you. So I got to put Jimmy Butler in. because of that epic battle between him and LeBron James in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The brother showed up. He's a man amongst boys. He's in physical shape. Bulls, great job letting him go. But once again, when players leave Chicago, they have great careers. It's just factual, bro. It's factual, man. So, Jimmy Butler, number 8. Number 7, I got to go with KD. I got to go with KD, y'all. And I got to go with KD because even though he's been out, the man can pull up from the parking lot. The man has nobody in the NBA, I think, physically that can stick him. He can beat you off the dribble. He can beat you on the dribble. He can fade away. He can shoot the thing over any defender. 7'6" wingspan. What you gonna do with that? That is a modern day Dirk Nowitzki, but just a little bit better than Dirk Nowitzki. And so I gotta put KD on there for that reason. Number 5, James Harden. James Harden is, I would consider guys as the greatest scorer in the NBA today. He gets buckets whenever he wants to, and he scores whenever he wants. Gets to the free throw line, can drop 50 on you in his sleep, can find ways to disrupt your whole team. Only thing with James Harden, I need to just see more consistency from him from a leadership standpoint, and I need to see more consistency from him on the defensive end, although he did step it up this season on the defensive end. Number 5, world. I'm sorry, that was number 6, James Harden. Number 5, Luka Doncic, dark horse MVP from my book, but according to the stats book, he is indeed the favorite. And so, with him being the favorite, why not? I mean, the kid is special. He can drop 30, he can drop 40 on you easily. He's another one that can get to the free throw line, bro. This is one thing about great players, and I think we know this, Shamar. They can slow the game down. They can get to the free throw line whenever they feel like it. Number 4, Giannis. So this 5-year, $228 million extension. This man, y'all, is going to earn 46 mil per year. Big expectations coming out of Milwaukee. If they don't make the finals, I think this contract is all a disappointment. With that type of money, you got to produce, period. But Giannis, unstoppable once he gets to a certain point. Once he get his step, you can't stop him, period. You have to build a wall. But now that he has Drew Holiday, now that he has somebody that can spread the floor, will that open the floor for Giannis? And if so, hey, man might get a third MVP. AD, number 3. The reason why I didn't put Giannis above AD, Jamar, was because of the fact that AD has a jump shot. So AD can defend, as we know, one of the greatest defenders in the NBA today. What you're going to do with his wingspan, his length. But on top of everything that AD can do, he can scratch the floor. And that's the difference between him and Giannis. AD can shoot just like a KD, or he can shoot like these guys. He really can. And so that makes him extremely dangerous. So I got to put AD ahead of Giannis for that reason. Number 2, well, I don't know if y'all heard. I don't know why folks are asleep, but I still like Kawhi Leonard. I still like Kawhi Leonard because he does everything on the floor with 1,000% effort. And when he sticks you, most of these players, when they get stick by Kawhi Leonard, they fold, they put their, they don't want no parts. They pass that rock real quick, as you see, Jamar. Up, Kawhi Leonard on me. Up, yeah, you score the ball. You score the ball. Okay, no, you score the ball. Because Kawhi Leonard gonna put them claws on you. He gonna block your shot. I mean, he will block your shot and he will show you amazing strength. And you will just sit there like, damn, he's strong as hell. Like, he don't even look that strong. But that's how physically imposing he is on his opponents. So Kawhi, y'all, I got to put him behind LBJ. I feel like it'll be the Battle of LA this year, come in the Western Conference. Putting that out there right now because Kawhi is that great. Number 1, though, however, I got to put the man amongst boys, LBJ. For me, on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, second greatest player all time behind our own Michael Jordan. If he wins this fifth title, a lot of people are gonna start debating even more. And so LBJ, he does everything. He doesn't have the best jump shot, but he makes up for it because of everything else he does on the floor. And so, number one, LBJ. Um, I have him as my title favorites because of the acquisitions that they made. But Dennis Schroeder will be a big question mark. If he plays well, they win. If he doesn't play well, they're vulnerable. All right. That's my top 10 for the NBA season coming up. I will be keeping an eye on all these players, and we'll see what happens, man.
And one thing I take away from our list here, um, neither one of us wanted no parts of Pandemic P.
No. Mm-mm. No, sir. No way.
Mm-mm.
Didn't
Yep.
want no parts of that, man. Not with Pandemic P, not this. I was thinking about him. I was, but nah.
It was a brief thought. I'm like,
It was a brief thought.
and then I thought about him hitting the side of the backboard. I'm like, no, I can't. And then how Kawhi was looking at him on the bench in the fourth quarter. I'm like, nah.
Right.
Kawhi be looking at me if I put him on a list like that. I can't do it.
Exactly, man. We can't. Yeah, we can't get that type of publicity. We can't have people looking at us like we're crazy. Like Pandemic P, really? Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, we won't put Pandemic P, bro. All right, man. Let's get into some NFL picks, bro. We got a lot of good games this week. A lot of playoff position and on the line for sure. And so let's begin, man, with we know what happened with the Chargers and Raiders. Great football game. I got a chance to see Justin Herbert. Now I see why they are a popular pick for you.
Yeah, every week.
Yep.
I
like see why they're a popular pick for you. That kid is special. That kid can ball. He remind me of Dan Marino.
That's what somebody said too. Analyst said that. I forgot who. Matter of fact, I think it was Stephen A that said that.
I don't know, man, but you know, I just know that this boy is special, and I see why you pick him. He is the truth and a half. So yeah, very bright future for the Chargers. I just hope they retain, man, Anthony Lynn. You know, a lot of those games that the Chargers lose ain't his fault. It's the kicker's fault. But that's another story for another day. Very terrible kicker in the Chargers organization. Yeah, he misses a lot of field goals. Could have won the game in regulation, by the way. All right. And it had to take Justin Herbert to say the game. Bills and Broncos. Who you got, bro, with this one?
Bills. Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia. Share the screen for us.
Oh, thank you for that, bro. I truly appreciate that. I missed out on that. Let me share the screen, world, so you guys can see the schedule for this week. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Bills Mafia,
and that's
they are going up to Denver. Yes, it is 3:30. You got it. Going to be coming on shortly. I got to roll with you, man. I got the Bills Mafia. Playing great football right now. As you see, this is your team, a scary team to play in the playoffs. Mile High is always a trap game, but you know, Buffalo's playing better football, so I gotta go with the Bills. Panthers and Packers. Did we get an upset? Got an upset tonight?
I don't see it now without a 99 overall running back. He's not back
Mr.
yet.
99. He missing again, huh? How the hell is he a 99 then? Okay, I'm sorry.
I think Panthers can actually, keep up to a certain degree, but Packers winning this one.
Yeah. What's good, Deshaun? What's good? He stated, I need Josh Allen to have a game. And by the way, Deshaun, we talked about your Steelers. So don't beat me up, man, next time you see me, okay? We mentioned that Pittsburgh would be a team that we would want to play come come January.
Come on,
we mentioned that they would want to be a team that people will want to play come January. But at the same token, that the AFC is lit and that 1 through 7 could literally have a legit chance to win the AFC. So although we want to play them, it's a good part that don't want to go to Heinz Field in January and get knocked around in that cold. So we got to still put respect on the Steelers and Mike Tomlin in that organization and how things have been run. What story would that be, Jamar? That Mike Tomlin, what story would that be, Deshaun? That soon as Belichick, Tom Brady leave, which we know has been his nemesis, has been his hurdle. It's sort of like with Patrick Union and Reggie Miller, those guys couldn't get past Jordan. But as soon as he left, they at least got to the finals, remember? Knicks went 7 games, NBA finals. Pacers was getting a chance to get to the finals. What would that be to where Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin get that Super Bowl after Bill Belichick and Tom Brady break up?
Yeah.
That would let us know that that's really been their hurdle all that time.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even know if they get that opportunity because of that guy in Kansas City that happened to just spring up, like
come out of nowhere and just run the
yes,
whole party.
yes, that's the crazy thing about it, and that's unfortunate.
Right, yeah, but that would be like a super phenomenal story, man. So it's still alive right now. Any given Sunday in the NFC, AFC, like Dominique stated.
Yep.
So yeah, got to roll with the Bills Mafia. As far as tonight, no, I don't see an upset with the Panthers. Green Bay, man, too good of a team at home. Tough to beat. Referees love Aaron Rodgers. If things would have happened, um, it will have to be Aaron Rodgers getting knocked around from the defensive line for the Panthers, but I don't even know if they have a defensive line. I don't even know their names. So gotta roll with the pack tonight, man. Appear to be the better team for sure. Um, Texans and Colts. Um, Texans and Colts. So the Texans, man, yeah, they right now appear to be reeling after getting whooped by the Bears last week, which we did not see happening.
Heck no, I ain't see that. I'm still stunned. And I got the perfect picture, the perfect meme for that whole scenario. Matter of fact, I'm about to post it on Facebook right now. on our page, so people about to see it.
All right, cool. And while you make that post, I'm gonna make my pick here. I got to roll with the Colts, mainly because they're at home. We mentioned that the AFC South will come down to the last game of the year, which I totally believe, and I see it happening right before our eyes, especially with the schedules. And so, Colts, they're a better football team. The Texans are reeling, man. I don't know how they bounced back from that whooping from last week. But then again, the Chargers bounced back after they got whooped 45-0, and I didn't pick them the following week when they won. But the Falcons were just the Falcons, right? But so that was the perfect team to get a victory over, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts here. I think they're a better football team, man, and they got a lot to play for.
Yeah,
Texans might be trying to tank. They might be trying to tank at this point.
I mean, Deshaun Watson still having a phenomenal year. Last week, definitely did not see that coming. I thought it was gonna be the other way around. Right. But yeah, Colts need this win. They need it to stay on top there. So and to keep up. Yeah, I like the Colts in this one. At least by 2 scores.
All right. Lions and Titans. Who you got, bro?
We're gonna tighten up on this one. Derrick Henry, I think he needs to average like 156 yards for the rest of the way to accumulate 2K on the year. So,
wow. Yeah, because he had 1532 right now.
So yeah, there's a chance. There is a chance,
right.
And the Lions' rush defense isn't the greatest, so he might get a boost here.
Yeah, it's very well possible, world, that he could reach this in the next 3 games because he can break 200 on you any game, any given day. And that doesn't matter if it's hot outside or cold. That could be August, that can be January or December. That's how special this running back is, and he's the best running back in the NFL for me. No disrespect to Mr. 99 in Carolina. Okay, back to the point. So, yes, I'm agree with you, man. We got to tighten up here. Derrick Henry, I think, will run all over this Detroit team, especially in Tennessee. Only thing is, hopefully, he don't get tired running all over him. That's the question of this game. That is the big question of this game. Will Derrick Henry, Jamar, get tired? Will he just say, I'm tired, man. It's hot. It's 50-some degrees. I need some water. It's warm. Like, will he just get tired of running all over Detroit? That's the big question with this game, because it's going to happen. Yeah. However, world, we got a big one here. Bears Vikings. Both teams 6-7. My Vikings dropped last week, but I picked them to lose. Um, these two teams, whether we believe it or not, are still battling for wild card positioning. So
Yep.
one of these teams are going to make a big jump in the wild card position and put some pressure on the Cardinals. Not even to mention if the Cardinals were to lose this week. So our Bears, they could very well be back in the mix of things if they were to beat the Vikings. But do it happen, Jamar. Let us know.
Whew. Yeah. So
The football
basically,
guru, let us know, man.
hey.
Nah, man, your picks be on point. I gotta give it to you. You be seeing stuff. True.
Oh man. So I'm gonna just point this out. This is basically a playoff game. Right here.
Pretty much.
Lose this game. That's
Yeah.
just pack your bags and go home for real.
Right. Yeah.
Oh boy. And you know, this is tough. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Bears fan, but like, believe it or not, people, like Mitchell Trubisky has like success against the Vikings. That's the kicker right here. Because my mind is saying Minnesota.
Right.
But there's a part of me that says Mitch is gonna get this done somehow, some way, because he wants to prove Nagy wrong and keep this thing rolling.
But don't you also think, Jamar, that Mitch has been playing good football since he got back?
He has.
Some pretty good games.
I feel like he like they pissed him off by benching him, and he kind of came back with a vengeance.
He's making it tough right now.
He is, and the fact that last week was the first time all season where I've seen the offense and the defense play well. That's a first. What all the running game, the passing game.
Speaking of the running game, world, David Montgomery, that man has been on a mission. He's been proving me wrong. He want to prove some people wrong. Yeah. He's been balling. Even against Detroit, he carried us that game, Mitch and him.
He did. Deshaun, I give credit to Deshaun. He's been pointing it out, and it took me a while to jump on the train here, but yeah, he's been doing this thing.
Yep. Shout out to Philip Price as well, because he said the same thing about this kid. Like, he's good. You just gotta give him a chance.
Yeah. So, all right. I'll give him my last chance here. I got him.
Going with the Bears.
I got him.
Hey man, it's okay, man. It's almost Christmas. It's gonna be just fine, all right. Okay, so just know that good things happen to those who have positivity. I'm just trying to make up some word to help Jamar hold his head up. That's basically it. And so yeah, man.
Tell me how you really feel.
I'm telling you really how I feel. It'll be all right, man. But to make this pick, jeez. I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
I know.
And I'm gonna go with the Vikings because I feel like they're playing better football overall. Even though they lost to the Bucks last week, it wasn't as bad as people thought the game was. It was a lot closer than what people thought. Vikings appear to be having still a rolling train, and they appear to have arguably the best running back in football. With the Bears playing, it makes it tough. This game will be a fourth quarter game. It will be that rivalry game that will come down to the last few minutes of the game. It could come down to a field goal, Jamar. It really could. Do the Bears win? Possibly, yes. But I think the Vikings take advantage at home, bro, and they hurt the Bears on the last second field goal, 23-20.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but it's literally that close. One turnover could change the whole trajectory of that game.
It's a tough game, man.
Period. All right. Seahawks and the Washington football team. That's a tough one too, man.
Low key. and it's in Washington. It's low
Mm-hmm.
key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm picking Seattle with a grain of salt here because I'm not about to sit here and ignore what the Giants did to them a couple weeks ago with their front seven.
True.
And I know Washington has a better front seven
A better front seven.
and better corners.
Yep.
So I'm not confident in my Seahawks pick. I think the difference is that Alex Smith isn't playing. It's going to be Dwayne Haskins. It's up to Dwayne Haskins. We're going to see if he can lead them to victory. But I'm taking a better quarterback in this instance. But Russell Wilson might have a rough day here. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. I'm a side with you, man. Boy, I want to pick Washington.
I know.
That front seven, man.
I know.
Those backs, boy. But the one reason I won't pick Washington, bro, and I know you got the news world, and I know you got it as well, Jamar. Because of WFT or something, whatever that is, Alex Smith won't start. Dwayne Haskins, y'all will be making a start.
Yep.
So for that reason, I don't like how Dwayne Haskins has looked at quarterback. He's looked terrible at times. I think that's where the Seahawks get a big break here this weekend.
Yeah.
And get a feast here on this kid to turn over the ball. And, I think that'll be the difference in this game. So I got the Seahawks to win this game for that reason.
Yeah, if Alex Smith was playing, I probably have a different tune right now.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Your pick, bro, Pats Dolphins.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Dolphins. And just the stat here that I found out yesterday, even let's just say if Tom Brady was still in the Patriots, right? So in the last 20 years, in Miami, the Patriots are 9-11. So they historically they have trouble in Miami. And I remember last year specifically on week 17, how the Dolphins messed around and won on that last second play, which probably changed the whole trajectory of the Patriots' outcome because it bumped them out of the first round bye to wild card weekend where
this happened last season, bro.
Yep. Into that bad man. I ain't talking about the one in Green Bay. I'm talking about the monster amongst men in Derrick Henry and ripped them to shreds. So with all that being said, I love my boy Cam, but the way this Dolphins team is right now, it's Dolphins all day.
Yeah, it'll be a tight football game. Patriots got whooped against the Rams, but they had a lot of chances, as you seen, Jamar, in the red zone against the Rams defense. It's just that Cam threw a pick six, and they turned over the ball, and they had a number of turnover on downs in the red zone. So they're not as bad as people think. This will be a tight football game. I know the Patriots are 9-11 the last, the last 20 years you mentioned. But I think this is my upset of the week, bro. My upset of the week is the Patriots going into Miami. We know about their history, but I still believe that the Patriots will have something to play for here. They very well could get whooped tomorrow, but then again, I think the Patriots they're sneaky. Like, this team is hard to dissect, and so I think they can control the clock tomorrow. The Dolphins have a great defense, just like the Rams do. So if the Patriots don't turn the ball over, bro, the other things for the Patriots, which is this punt return and their special teams, this number 80 kid is a baller, should make the Pro Bowl. Their running game on offense, they can control the clock. And their defense, well, they got vets. Let's put it that way. And the Dolphins are a young team with a young quarterback. For that reason, I got to go with the Pats.
You definitely talked yourself up into that one. We gonna see. I will say this: it will be a good game. It's gonna be a good one for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Jags and Ravens. I'll start this one out. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, you know what? I like James Robinson and I think Minshew Mania is back, and I am.
Oh yeah, he is, man. Yeah,
he
Minshew
is.
Mania.
He's coming back and
mustache.
Yeah, he looking like what was that guy from Netflix that's in jail with that Tiger King stuff? That's
I know you talking about. I don't know his name though.
Got all that going on, and I'm ready to pick the Baltimore Ravens to whoop that. So yeah.
Yeah. Bears got the Jags next week, man. If the Bears beat the Vikings, hey, things get interesting.
It does, but won't get my hopes up just yet.
All right, yeah. Let's keep it moving. Bucks and Falcons. The Falcons. What a team to play. I gotta go with the Bucks.
Yeah. So,
but they're tricky in Atlanta, man.
They are, but the Bucks are definitely the better team. And I just want to win 6 rings and retire in Florida here. GOAT status.
I love that shirt, man.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm picking Tom Brady and the Bucks here. I feel like they know what time it is. I feel like they licking their chops against that Falcons defense here. They want to enter the playoffs on some momentum here, silence some critics, get the ball rolling. Tom Brady know what it needs to be done. So yeah, Bucks.
Yeah. All right, man. Niners and Cowboys. Interesting game. Cowboys played a good game last week. I believe they have a lot of weapons. I believe so. And in this case, I got to go with the Niners though. And the reason why is because the Cowboys are inconsistent. The Niners have been inconsistent, but they've been injured. But I still think they're a better football team. And this quarterback for the Niners, he's making things interesting. I really think so, Jamar. I really think that the organization is going to have a little talk about Garoppolo compared to this kid, Nick Mullins. I know it sounds crazy, but, he's not a bad quarterback, just to say, world. So I got the Niners, though. Although, man, that's a hard one, too. But I got to go with the Niners.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think last week was just more so of Andy Dalton being fired up to go against his old team type thing. Cowboys are definitely inconsistent. Cowboys can't even that's I think matter of fact, I think that was a team that I said they can't stop a sign. They can't stop a sign. So Mostert or Wilson or whoever they got in the backfield is probably going to rip them to shreds. Mullins is definitely playing well.
Coleman playing too, yeah.
Coleman, Brandon Ayuk, he I feel like he's gonna ball out. They almost messed around and got George Kittle to play. So just saying. So right. I think he'll be back next week. But regardless, I like the Niners in Big D in Jerry's world. Take that L, Jerry. Take that L.
Yep, you're gonna be in a booth all angry and stuff. Yeah. All right, Eagles Cardinals, big game here. Who you got?
With the addition of Jalen Hurts here, the Eagles look like they have new life. It's just something about the Eagles that just seems so much better nowadays.
I did not see that last week, bro. I did not see what Jamar saw, man. Like, it is unbelievable because anybody with common sense would say this guy's a rookie going against the Saints defense. Saints been dominating for the last 8 weeks on a winning streak. Like they winning streak got messed up from this kid Jalen Hurts. But bro, once I saw that film, let me pause for a second.
All right.
Once I saw that film, I'm like, now I see what Jamar's talking about.
It was man, like I knew they have a chance. I mean, he impressed me as well. I didn't think it was gonna be like that because at one point, the Eagles was like kind of dominating that game in a sense.
Definitely.
I know they made it close, tight at the end, but it was actually like everything was clicking. Miles Sanders out here just running the ball, and I think that opened up because of Jalen Hurts there and read option and everything. I don't know, but all right, as far as this game here, I mean, Eagles need it, but I feel like the Cardinals need it even more at this point because they know
that's what makes this game so hard.
It is, because if the Cardinals lose, they're gonna know they're gonna be tied with either the Bears or the Vikings at the end of the day, which makes playoff hopes complicated for them. So with that being said, I am picking Arizona because they have to win this game by far.
What a football game this will be.
Yes, I'm tuning in.
Jalen Hurts versus Kyler Murray. Wow. The battle of the Oklahoma brothers. 1 year, Kyler Murray. The next year, following him, Jalen Hurts. Okay? Same program, Heisman contenders. Two dual threat quarterbacks. This is going to be a good football game, bro. You should get your popcorn ready for this one. Eagles
Seriously.
still in position for the NFC least. Anybody can win this division. And you got analysts now, Jamar, stating that they like the Eagles after what they saw from Jalen Hurts. You literally got people believing that the Eagles can go down to the last game of the season for the NFC least.
It's quite possible. It's quite possible. The guys that special, they're both former Sooners, man. Like it's
right.
It's like they have a lot of similarities in a sense. In a sense, they do. So you might be looking at the mirror of the other one for certain plays. So this gonna be a phenomenal game.
Yes, and so in order to make a pick for this game, I gotta go with the Eagles.
I don't blame you.
The Cardinals are great, but they're inconsistent too.
Yes.
And they find ways. They haven't been as hot lately. If you look at their overall record for the last 6 games, they're 2-4. Like this team has been on a downhill slump, and it's a reason for that. It's because of their defense. And so I know I only got 1 game of film on Jalen Hurts, but the way he's looking and the way Miles Sanders, which will be the wild card here, the way he's been running like a madman, Alshon Jeffrey coming back. I like the 2 brothers, Mr. Cox and Mr. Graham, to be all over Kyler Murray come tomorrow and hunt him down and be the great defensive lineman that we know them to be. So I think the Eagles got more playmakers. Their record is terrible, but they just got that veteran leadership, bro. And so for that reason, I got to pick the Cardinals in an upset tomorrow. Will it really be an upset? Yeah, it's an upset because they.
You mean Eagles?
That's what I'm saying. I got the Eagles tomorrow to upset the Cardinals. Will it really be an upset?
Yeah.
I don't know, but based off of the record, yes. So got to go with the Eagles. Jets and Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
All right. RAMS. Rams. All day in this matchup.
Yes. Chiefs and Saints. So this is the game of the week right here, bro. Why are you holding your head down? You're like you're thinking really hard
here. Yeah. Because I think the last time these 2 teams played, and I'm pretty sure they did play against each other. It was either last year or the year before. I'm pretty sure the Saints won that game.
Right. That was a great football game.
But what's my number 1 rule? What is my number 1 rule?
It's my rule too, bro. I adapted it too. You want to say it together on a count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Never
bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Your word was bet. My word was pick. It's the
thing. Yep.
I can't pick against him.
I can't, but I will be in front of the TV, thrilled to watch this thriller that's going to take place. I am.
Saints got a lot to play for, and they are in the NO. Only difference is it ain't no fans. If it was fans, this would be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: Saints lose this game, they can kiss that number 1 seed goodbye.
For sure, absolutely, and it'll get a Bucks some ground too. All right, but even though the Bucks, they won't own that tiebreaker. So the Saints pretty much, they're in good position still to get that NFC.
Whoa. Before we get into the next game, I'm just looking, and there's a below these 2 games here, there's a Christmas game? I didn't even know that.
Yes.
That's absolutely awesome. That is awesome.
Christmas game, Vikings and Saints, 3:30.
That is awesome. You hear that, world? Yes. You got football on Christmas.
Yep, Vikings and Saints, and that's Vikings gonna have a little something to play for. I mean, if they beat the Bears, they got something to play for.
There you go.
So, yep. All right. The Browns and the Giants. This a big game right here. This was your second half team, the Giants. They battling for position in the NFC least. Browns got a lot to play for.
Yeah,
so this is a tough one. So who you got?
All right. I am picking the Browns. I'm picking the Browns. They are the better team, but do not be sleep or surprised if the Giants front seven cause havoc and make Baker do things that he don't want to do, and all of a sudden you look up and the Giants up late in the game.
Right.
I'm just saying. I'm picking the
Right.
Browns.
Yeah. Wow. This is a tough game, man. The one reason I'm gonna have to go against the Giants here is because of our buddy, my friend, Mr. Texas, Mr. Colt McCoy. Once I found out he was the quarterback, I just knew things were going to go down from there. And so, yes, with that being said, man, I have to go with the Browns. I think the Browns will run all over New York. They will run through New York and run to the Empire State Building, back over to the Twin Towers, over on to New Jersey, etc. They will run over the Giants. And it'll be an interesting game in the first half, but I think the Browns will wear them down as the game goes along. So I got the Browns in this one.
All right.
Steelers and Bengals. I got Pittsburgh.
I got Cincinnati.
Really?
I'm playing.
We had to end the podcast with a spark here.
I got Pittsburgh, man.
I was like, really? No, like who? So who's the quarterback for the Bengals? This Tyler Eifert or?
No, it's I think his name Brandon Hall or something of the sort.
I just wanted to bring that point up, world. I knew his name. I just wanted you to mention it because this is why I'm picking the Steelers, and I didn't have much analysis. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
No problem.
It's the Brandon Hall, yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. Whew. Well, with that being said, world, we have now made our NFL picks. That concludes today the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We appreciate the love, the comments from, Deshaun, our brother, Mr. Chris, Dominique, participation, the views, and seeing folks been, at least tuning in or watching the video and cutting off. We appreciate all your participation here. Remember that you can find us on various platforms on YouTube as the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Facebook via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, Apple Podcasts via the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, amongst various other streaming platforms. And so you guys, have a blessed day. Be tremendous. Just curious, Jamar, before we conclude, because the next time we see folks will be after Christmas. So yes. Just curious, man, any final thoughts or shout outs before we head into the weekend?
Yes, couple of things here. Two things sports related, then I'll just get into the Christmas thing really quick. I'll make it real brief.
Take your time.
All right, so first sports thing as we kind of alluded to today, it's a lot of big games today and a lot of sports. Yes. So I think basketball, we got Iowa at Gonzaga #3 against #1 here. Big Ten championship game, football, ACC championship game, SEC championship game, NFL, Bills at Broncos, Panthers at Packers, and then you got Canelo Alvarez against Colin Smith tonight. So you got all of
yes. That. Thank you for pointing that out. That is going on tonight.
You got a big package here, so enjoy that if you're not going anywhere. And then the second sports thing, so it's in regards to I believe Jackson State. That's where Deion Sanders at, right? Jackson State.
Yes, he's the head coach there now, and his son's committed.
Yeah, so his first son committed. His second son, he basically said, I heard Pops wants some other dogs, so he committed as well. So you got both of your boys there. So shout out to that. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's a father's dream.
That is, man. I'm sure he just, all got the warm and fuzzies inside of him right now.
Absolutely.
And then, all right, so Christmas is next Friday, man. I won't see you until then. So, you and your family have a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Same to you, my brother.
And
Appreciate it.
enjoy this holidays, man. Like, it's been a tough year. We expressed that basically every show at the end. We expressed how tough it is this year. So, I mean, just enjoy, man. Enjoy.
Man, brother, beautifully, eloquently stated, man. Um, you know, thank you for that. And Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. Much love, my brother.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. I just want to encourage someone during this time to spread some love. To, if you see someone that's out there homeless, if you see someone out there in need, right, Jamar, like give them a
Yeah.
helping hand if you can. Help them out, bless them. Shout outs to my church, Parkway Garden Christian Church of Disciples of Christ, where I serve as a reverend, and I'm currently in seminary at the USC to, pursue my Master's of Divinity. But I do a lot of ministry, as you know, Jamar, when I leave this podcast.
Right.
However, I can't do it today. Need to take this test. And so, upon that, you got to do your quarantining and stuff. But shout out to my church. I want to mention that because they will be doing a toy drive and giveaway. They will be doing, a number of things for the community today. And so shout out to you guys. May you all have a blessed day and blessing other people. And so that's what I encourage the world to do at this time. You got a few extra bucks or some, you got $20, hold it in your pocket. If you see somebody in need at the grocery store, just offer it to them. Things like that goes a very, very long way in our world. We need that at this time. We need love. We need unity. So Merry Christmas to you all. May you all have a blessed and happy Merry Christmas. And just enjoy life. As Jamar stated, enjoy these games, enjoy this football season, this college football season of big games coming up and all the festivities that's going on today that's what God put this here for, as far as entertainment. And so enjoy it. Till then, you guys have a blessed day. Shout out to the Chicago Bears. We'll see what you guys do. Big game for you tomorrow. And thank you all once again for tuning in to the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. And you all have a blessed, restful, and productive weekend in the Lord. Peace.
Peace out.